Hey everyone, and welcome to Ginger Prime. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, Soul Nation. If you're new here, welcome to a coffee chat episode in which I give my unscripted thoughts about the news, especially as it relates to games and things that I'm personally very excited about. This is obviously focusing around Square-Enix Presents, the live event, aka the Nintendo Direct for Square-Enix that dropped today. Lots of really great information. Outriders was more hype than anything else within it, but a few key takeaways. I want to kind of focus in on Forspoken first. I keep saying Forsaken, so hey, there it is. I got it right for the first time. And so Forspoken, and then there's also some Avengers pieces of news that I kind of want to touch on more towards the end of the show, if you guys are interested in those thoughts as well. But if you guys have not seen the trailer, it should be playing for you guys right now here on this channel. I would highly recommend you go watch it with the audio. It opens up incredibly strong, and outside of the visuals and the graphics, the movement and the animations that they display in this trailer are incredibly top notch. But I want to start with obviously that first line. Is that a mother bleeping dragon? And that is essentially probably the best line that I've heard delivered in a trailer that automatically gets my heart pumping. If you guys don't know this about me, I have a huge fascination and obsession with dragons. That's something that actually helped me learn how to read outside of Final Fantasy VI back in the day as a kid. I just would struggle with it, but dragons and stories about dragons always just like helped, I guess, me get over my own, like out of my own way and really kind of put the effort into kind of consuming that. And it really kind of helped me really develop my vocabulary and learning how to read. Now, you might not catch that in some of these videos. Dyslexia, it's still a thing for me. And so at the core of it, I have a huge, fascination with dragons. And that line obviously just continues. That sets off those bells. Like I was like, yes, Heaven's Word for Final Fantasy XIV. Huge fan of that expansion. And then all of a sudden they open up with this. And it's such a real visceral line. If somebody was kind of plucked out of the real world and all of a sudden, or if a dragon just kind of floated down, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be a huge fan of a dragon landing on my house. However, at the core of it, it just captures my imagination. And the world that they're setting up, obviously developed by the Luminous Productions team within Square-Enix. This is their team that's really trying to push forward graphics and really trying to do a lot of different things. So just kind of a brief summary of what we know about Forspoken. This is originally Project Athea that was kind of detailed and showed off at last year's E3 kind of presentation. It's good to see that they're bringing in so much more to the franchise itself and bringing it in as a new action RPG, a whole new IP for Square-Enix in this case. So this could be the start of something huge and big. So here we go. Obviously, PS5 and PC. This is developed in tandem for both of these systems, and I am very excited. In fact, we were talking about it with a couple of people over on stream today, saying that they're really looking forward to seeing games that are kind of set at that starting point of the new generation, of the PS5, of the Series X, of, I guess a 3080. I don't know what the, kind of the PC equivalent would ultimately end up being, but kind of seeing games kind of built for that next generation or the current generation, so to speak. And yeah, we haven't really kind of seen that. We've seen this cross-generational stuff, which makes a lot of sense in terms of flexibility, but there hasn't been that like, oh my gosh moment. For me, speaking personally, maybe you've had that already. And if you have, awesome. Let me know what you're playing so I can make sure that I try to put it somewhere on my radar. But this is going to be a single-player RPG by Square Enix. It's going to hopefully, I'm assuming we're going to get the visuals. We're going to get the, the story. We're going to get the voice acting. And everything, at least from the trailer, continually seem to be top notch. The world seems interesting. The powers and the combat seem very interesting. But like I said at the top of this video, the animation in movement just seems so fascinating. And it seems that the team has learned a lot from where we kind of started this venture with Final Fantasy XV. We're seeing lots of influence that way. And whether 15 was a game that you enjoyed or not, I think it's essentially kind of like a starting process. They kind of work out the issues, and being that this is built on the Luminous engine, that Square Enix's internal engine, it'll be interesting to see, if they're able to really deliver a powerful experience. At the end of the day, I'm going to always root for great games and, great development cycles and more. So we'll wait and keep you guys up to date on my thoughts and my feelings there. Nothing else. I think if you have a PlayStation 5, if you've been able to get one, and that is still obviously the roadmap here, that should be something pretty exciting. And if you can't, the good news is you don't have to worry about it until 2022, assuming no delays for Forspoken. So those are my thoughts. I mean, action RPG, check. Square-Enix, check. Yeah, definitely has my attention. Dragons, absolutely double check. Check again on that one. So those are the thoughts there. The rest of this is like when we look at the start of it, they opened strong with Outriders. Good move, strong move. Lots of hype. Just recapping information if you've been following Outriders this whole time. Like, I don't think there was really much to say, oh, wow. Pretty much everything is known, but it was such a smart play. So many eyeballs on that event to kind of recap what this game is so that people are kind of informed about it. And hopefully, if you've never heard of the game and you're now checking it out for the first time, you're excited because it's just right around the corner. So that's awesome to see. Now, the other thing that's just, at the end of the day, Avengers, it's a conversation we really haven't had much on this channel. I've got a couple level cap characters in Avengers. They've changed things. They're increasing the level cap, and they're going with an expansion model. So they announced the Wakanda expansion. Obviously, we're going to get Black Panther. This is exciting. Like, that's a character that I'm very excited about learning more about. They're about to have the update with Clint. So we're going to have Hawkeye in the game. And so I leveled up Kate Bishop, and I actually really enjoyed Kate Bishop at her play style. Some of the characters speak more to me than others. All of that being said, I didn't see a single thing from the Avengers presentation piece of it that really addresses the core issues that the community has. Now, I could be easily a standalone kind of voice in that regards. I do not claim nor want to claim the title of community spokesperson for all of those who have played Avengers. The story of the game and its development, the financial loss, as my voice cracks twice apparently in that sentence, is known. And essentially kind of the things that I need to see Avengers do, the question is that will they take the time and make it happen? As a games as a service, I'm always rooting for it. But, gamers, and it's interesting to see Avengers marketed as a game as a service and Outriders not marketed as a game as a service. What will ultimately win in the end? Because if they continue to develop Avengers for the next 5 years and beyond, and all of a sudden you see, more and more people picking it up as they work out the issues, as they fix the problems, within the core design in the system itself. They didn't like what I would like to see within Avengers outside of just loot overhaul. I don't want to list it. It's long. I think the things that would help really, start the core system engine running would be either cross progression or a cross play mentality, like we're already seeing in Outriders. The ability to have what community is there to play with each other. Because right now, let's say if you were actively playing Avengers and you made a friend and they're like, hey, I'll check it out with you. And then it turns out you're on a platform they don't own. Like, it ends up just kind of being a roadblock to getting more people to playing the game. I'm not sitting here telling you that, crossplay or cross progression would solve all of Avengers problems. That's a long list, and another video, or I'm sure other content creators have already kind of put out those kind of lists of how to save that game. And the fact that it's getting an expansion, I think, is a really good sign in terms of the longitude or the life longitude. I don't know what that means. The life of the game itself, and that's actually positive. I have no qualms about an expansion style model. You probably see them kind of start to bundle those, like, hey, here's buy this year's version of Avengers and it comes included with all the updates, etc., etc. But yeah, like, I don't think it's what they showed me is enough to really kind of get at the core of what I'm looking for. I'm excited for more characters, but I have characters I don't have leveled yet, and the reason is because it's just not a game that I feel is worth my time yet. And there are things that I enjoyed about it, like the story. I think if we're going to sit here and, critique it, like, I think it's, you want to have a balanced kind of mindset. Like, I really enjoyed the single player story in so much that I continue to wonder, like, would this have just done better as a single player story driven, RPG? Perhaps. But with the factor of time, again, if they continue to invest in it, and if all of a sudden we're in 2022, 2023, 2024, it's like, yep, Marvel's Avengers, like the latest expansion, all these new characters, all this new story, all of a sudden you're like, well, yeah, like it is something that you can spend some time and invest in and have a good time with. But we'll have to wait and see, as with all things. Those are my thoughts. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this coffee chat. Forspoken, Avengers, Outriders. Those are the big takeaways for me. Obviously, they showed off more games that looked really interesting and more, but you know what? Not every game's going to appeal to me, and I'm not sitting here saying that those other games aren't worth your time, so feel free to go and explore the vast amount of things that were shared today. I'm sure your favorite video game site and or video game creators probably got that listed for you. But I'm going to wrap up, guys. I try not to make these things too long, and hopefully you had got something out of it. But if nothing else, I'd love to know your thoughts. Was anything that stood out, anything that I missed that was really kind of exciting to you? Love to know. And that's going to be it. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'm going to wrap up and get back to my day as we wrap up this week. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button, that like button, that share button. Really, honestly means the world to me. But until next time, hey, I don't really have an official sign-off. Thanks for being here. If you made it all the way to the end, you know you are a legend. And yeah, sound off in the comments below. Say, I am a legend. And that way I know that you made it all the way to the end of this video. Anyway, guys, like I said, love you very much. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon. Take care. This video is sponsored by me, Ginger Prime. Hopefully you'll check out my podcast channel, Ginger Gaming Radio, which we have lots of guests, lots of great conversations, and even more highlights. Links are in the description below. Let me know what you think. Thanks.